Emotional men are weak. Okay, this is a hot topic when it comes to like men's self-improvement videos and stuff. Is a big thing that like I also struggle with growing up, because I grew up fatherless basically. If you don't already know, basically my dad died before I was even a teenager, right? When I was a kid. One of the biggest things for me trying to learn was that I really struggled with was pretty much, as a man, should you be emotional? Because the world tells us it's okay to cry, it's okay to be emotional as a man. You should tap into your femininity or some BS, right? That's absolutely not the case, okay? As men, what I believe, and through my own personal experience, is that you should not be emotional. I'm not saying you should be a numb drone zombie that doesn't laugh, doesn't smile, doesn't. He's just like ashwagandha maxing, just like a drill sergeant, just sort of like. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is we should be able to have the self-control over our emotions, that we don't allow the emotions to dictate our very next choice of action or choice of words, right? The Bible says the tongue is sharper than a double-edged sword. I hope I remember that right. It basically says that your words are like very, very sharp. Okay, they're very, very impactful for a positive or for the negative, right? So you need to be able to control the emotions when you feel them rising up. And that's where Stoicism actually does come in quite handy, because it teaches you to be able to observe the emotion as a cloud passing by, for example. You don't need to like get upset there's a cloud passing by, right? There's nothing you can do about that cloud passing by. So why are you allowing it to affect your inner world, right? So when it comes to your emotions, I think especially like the whole reason behind making this is there's going to be situations in your life, like very traumatic situations. It's just a part of life where emotions are going to skyrocket within you. But as the man, as the leader, you need to be able to feel that tense emotion, the intensity of it, and still be able to rationally and logically think and make the correct, decisions in the heat of the moment. Whether there's been a horrific car crash and you're the first responder, you can't freeze or let your emotions overtake you. You need to be able to decisively, quickly, like quick judgments, do the right thing in the moment, right? That's strength as a man, to not allow emotions to overtake you there. My anecdotal experience when I was a kid and I was getting ready for school, it was like exam period. Pastor came over to our house in the morning. I'm like brushing my teeth. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's really going on now. And then my mom calls me and my sister to the living room, sits us down. Pastor's sitting there in front of us, and he goes, "There's no easy way for me to say this, guys, but your father is dead." And in that moment, that's very traumatic to hear that your own dad is now dead, right? I look to my right, my sister, younger sister, instantly starts bawling her eyes out. Completely valid, completely normal reaction, right? My mom's bawling her eyes out because my sister's also bawling her eyes out. My reaction, not that I even intended it to be this way, stone cold. Because in those moments, you as the man need to be the rock, right? You need to be the strength. You need to be the person that your family can lean on, okay? If the strength, it's just the dynamic that how we've been created, okay? If the strength that like the women in your family, or like your partner or whatever, your girlfriend, your wife, if you're the strength for them, right? If you're the man of the house, you're the strength, okay? If they can't lean on you because they see how emotional you are, they're gonna start to like lean on themselves, and that's where they get into their masculine, and then the whole dynamic goes weird, and it's just chaos. As the man, in situations like that, like younger me, not that I intended it to be that way, being able to like, you'd think I didn't want to cry, you'd think that didn't just like stab me and cut me open deep. Dude, it did. But in that moment, I was stoic without even trying to be, okay? I hope you don't think I'm tooting my horn here. I'm just using this experience as an example. Is that in those moments, you got to be able to just not allow those deep, intense emotions to overtake you, okay? Because what if this is like a dangerous situation, like someone's threatening a life of your loved ones and you need to make a decision now. How do we escape, or like, what do we do now? You know, you're not going to be able to think logically if you let your emotions just flare out, right? So in all of this, am I saying to bottle up your emotions indefinitely? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in the moments, you need to be strong for others, out of service to others. And then later on, really as soon as you can, in the privacy, behind closed doors, or like in your car or whatever, when you're by yourself, that's where you let it out. That's where you cry. That's where you let the anger out, the emotions out, and all that. Crank the tune, scream. My long-term subscribers, you guys have seen me screaming in my car, right? You probably thought I was a psycho weirdo, okay? Dude, and I filmed that just to show you, like, you know, this is how it's done. I'm looking a bit weird now, but this is what I mean by expressing your emotions in privacy. Obviously, it's not very private for me because I put it on the internet. I don't know if those videos are still up now, but that is how to get the bottled up stuff out, okay? So I hope this video makes sense, because yeah, you need to, just out of service to people who depend on you, you need to be able to make the right choices and decisions in the heat of that moment, and then actually have the responsibility to later go on ahead and actually process those emotions, okay? Hope that makes sense. And with all being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.